It is now 7:40, and we've got a real treat for music and theater fans alike. A man who is a veteran actor with 40 years on Broadway, and yet he tells us he's only 27. He's been in films and on TV, but in 2020, he took a leap and created a show-stopping tribute to the one and only Neil Diamond, one of the most prolific songwriters and performers ever. Now, this man, whom we will have on, has toured across the country, and he's bringing the magic to Millville next week. Take a look.
And he's sweet, but it ain't nothing next to this tree. If you're wanting me, what I'd like to say, we'll do okay forever in blue jeans, babe.
Wow, that is pretty cool. All right, this is Robert Neary, the star of So Good, the Neil Diamond Experience. Robert, not only do you sound just like the man, and that's a big compliment because he has an amazing voice, but you look so much like him. You mentally transform into him when you get on stage? I mean, do you become in your mind Neil Diamond?
I do, absolutely. Yes, as an actor, it's just a transportation. I just emulate everything about him. I've studied him. I've studied his moves. I've studied his voice, and it just becomes second nature. So, but I do
Now,
not say
you've
I
had an
kneel
incredible.
down.
Well, no, I get it, but you
Yeah,
could. I mean, you could totally get away with it.
yeah.
Again, I mean that in the best way. You've had a
Thank you.
40-year career as an actor, but in 2020, during the pandemic, that's when you decided to reinvent yourself, right? So is that what inspired you to create the Neil Diamond tribute?
I did. He had retired in 2018, and because of the pandemic and the creativity process, the actors and entertainers do. You always try and reinvent yourself and saying, okay, what's going to happen next? Are our auditions going to keep coming, or are they going to stop? And things started slowing down as far as the acting was concerned. So I just sat down and I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to create this. He's always been an idol of mine. I love the guy. I've loved his music. And I just started putting a set list together, and yeah, so here we are now, 5 years later, killing it.
You know, the funny thing, yeah, killing it is right, because you've been in 28 states, over 150 packed venues. I'd say that makes you the envy of a lot of performers who wish they could come close to that. You have 48 dates this year alone. That is amazing. And the one thing I think about when I think of Neil Diamond, being 57 myself, I think of him as almost every one of his songs is cool. Like I could listen to any one of his songs. He may not be my favorite performer of all time, but yet nobody hates Neil Diamond. Like everybody likes, you know what I'm saying? That everyone knows a Neil Diamond song and can sing along to it, which is what makes it great. It's kind of like Billy Joel. Like Billy Joel may not be everybody's favorite, but everybody knows every Billy Joel song. These are great, prolific, brilliant songwriters. And Neil Diamond is that guy where every single song the guy has written has become a huge hit. So that's, do you
They,
find that when you have the audiences there that everyone sings along to every word?
it's amazing because everybody has their specific song of Neil Diamond's that they just get transported back, in their memories. They're reliving these incredible memories. They're singing all the words. They say, "Oh my God, I forgot that song. I forgot he did that song." And it's just a night of nostalgia. It's a night of feeling good. Yeah, everybody has their Neil Diamond story, and it's just an incredible night. I love watching people with their eyes closed and they're just singing along and they're smiling. And then we do meet and greets afterwards, and people who shake my hand and say, "You brought back so many memories." It's so fulfilling. It's just incredible.
Have you have you had, I'm sorry to step on you again. We have a delay with our signal here. Have you had people come
That's
up
okay.
to you after a show and say to you, "Listen, I've met Neil Diamond, or I've seen Neil Diamond 5 times in concert. You nailed it." I'm sure you've had that. I'm asking the question assuming a yes. And what does it feel like when you hear that?
That's what that's not why I do it. But it's no feeling like it. I mean, I have the biggest smile on my face when they shake my hand and they're so genuine, and they say exactly that. They say, "I've seen Neil Diamond, and it was just like being right there." And I don't. It's not like I set out to be him. I just set out to give that concert experience, and A lot of times people will say my dad or my mom used to play Neil Diamond in their house all the time, and I was right there. I was right there when I first saw him in 1972 or in 1998 or it's just a remarkable feeling. And the smile, I just can't talk when people shake my hand and, and say that. I just simply say, thank you so much. Yeah.
And I must say, you're not, when I see your video, I don't think of you as and I use air quotes here, an impersonator as much as the experience giver, because an impersonator sometimes sounds like somebody who exaggerates in order to, almost like mockery. That's not what you're doing. This is paying homage in the highest level to the art and the music that is Neil Diamond. And you can just see it in your performance, that you don't exaggerate his moves or his sound, you emulate. And there is a difference there. I'm sure might be almost a little offensive when you hear people say, oh, you're an impersonator. I would never use that because clearly anyone should just go to your website and take a look at the videos. You'll see that is not the case. Now to move forward here, just because of time here, you've got something exciting in the works with symphony halls. Tell us more about how Vincent Opito, this young Hollywood orchestrator, is transforming the show.
Yeah, it just so happens where he was a student of my trumpet player, and my agents had talked to me about, broadening this and making it, into a concert experience for symphonies. So I reached out to him, and he's absolutely incredible. He's orchestrated when Cobra Kai, Marvel movies, worked with James Newton Howard, John Williams, and I sat down with him and I said, now I don't want this to be like a tribute band who puts an orchestra behind him. I want this to be a major, major symphony show, and I need every song to be a show-stopping cinematic masterpiece. And I'll tell you what, he sends me these files of these songs that we're putting together, and I'm just blown away. Every song just takes you to a different level, and I can't wait till we get these into symphony halls. It's incredible.
I will fly to wherever you are to check that out, because I love orchestras or big bands, because there is nothing like the gut punching awesome feel of being in a live hall with a big band or an orchestra, and you as a performer, you must beam when you have that orchestra behind you. I mean, I'm sure you've encountered it before, and I can't even imagine how you must be glowing.
Yeah, I've had the orchestras behind me before, of course, when I've done Broadway shows, but I can't wait for this. I mean, this again, every time he sends me a new song that he composes, I'm completely blown away, and I listen to it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to have this happen, because again, it's just not his song, and like other people do it as a behind the band. This is the full orchestra. This is again a cinematic masterpiece, a showstopper every single song. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Oh, by the way, just an aside, Robert, have you met Neil Diamond?
Real quickly, I answer the question. I parked his car in 1995 in Nashville. I was working it. He was doing Tennessee Moon album in the mid 90s. I was doing some music down there, working at a valet restaurant. He came in late at night, sat and chatted. Well, stood and chatted with him when he got out of his car. And haven't met him yet. Haven't ran into him yet. However, he and his wife know about my show. They've seen the movie that's on Amazon Prime. And I'm hoping that when we go back out to California next year, that he does get the chance to come to the show, and I do get to shake his hand.
I'm sure he must be very honored at the fact that you would do this show and that it sells out and it's packed. And I would bet he's going to want to come and see the orchestrated version with that full orchestra behind. Look, I have a friend whom you may have heard of, a guy named Joe Piscopo. We know each other for years, and and he is as in love with Frank Sinatra as you are with Neil Diamond. And Piscopo plays like 7 instruments. He does a stage show paying homage to Sinatra. And he got to meet Sinatra, obviously, I was going to say before Sinatra died, clearly before Sinatra died. But one of the things Sinatra told him was, hey, kid, seen your show. not bad. Little work, not bad. I get a kick out of that. But that from Sinatra's like getting the ordination, like, okay, you got it. You got that blessing. So I'm glad that even if he hasn't talked to you after you started the show, at least you got to have that contact with Neil Diamond. It's sort of like a passing on
Yeah.
the spirit, if you will. So that's a good thing. Now, you captured this entire concert live in front of 10,000 people back in 2023. You turned it, as you mentioned, into the documentary. It's on Amazon Prime. What's it like performing in front of 10,000 people, and what can viewers expect from the film if they check it out?
Oh my, yeah, that was just incredible. It was my hometown. It was a big amphitheater here on Long Island in East Meadow, the Harry Chapin Theater. Since then, we do it now regularly every summer, and more people come just to look out and just to have that just sea of people throughout the entire night. And then at the end, everybody doing Sweet Caroline. It was just, it was a dream come true. It was a dream come true. And on the video, you see everything on the movie, the film. We talk about the show. My family is involved, of course. How I met the band, and it's incredible. And excuse me, we do it again this summer. Last summer it was even bigger, and this summer it's going to be right after the 4th of July, and it's it gets bigger and bigger out there every year.
Robert, let's talk about what's coming up here in New Jersey. You're performing at the Lavoie Theater in Millville March 9th, and what can fans expect from that live experience?
They're gonna have a great time. They're absolutely gonna have it. Like you said, whether they like Neil Diamond or they don't like Neil Diamond, they do have the stories of Neil Diamond, whether it's from their family or whether they first heard their first song. And it's just an incredible night of nostalgia. And it's not just a tribute show. It's not just, oh, let's go and listen to some music. We now have an incredible multimedia projection show that plays throughout the entire show. We have all the aspects. We have a full horn section, and we do 24 songs now. We added a couple of songs. We have a whole movie of Neil Diamond that shows during Brooklyn Rose, song that we just added. It's unlike anything else, and people need to see it because it's incredible. It really is.
And you're going to be doing the performance literally an hour away from where he was born and raised in Brooklyn, which is kind of cool too, to be in the metro. And for anybody watching who is ready to sing along to "Sweet Caroline," God, I'm sorry to do that. Where can they get more info, grab tickets for the show, Robert?
Yeah, go to the website. You can go to the LavoieTheater.com. I think they have, I think it's LavoieTheater.com, or my own website, www.sogoodtheneildiamondexperience.com. We're also going to be in northern New Jersey next year at the Grunin Center, at the Mayo. We're going to be at the Mayo Pack as well, and those tickets are almost all sold out. So all this year. So we just added 3 more shows this year in the United States. So we're going strong. Go to the website, follow the concert tour, and I hope to see everybody out there. I do a meet and greet, and we just have the best time. We really do.
But just before we let you go, did you think when you started this it was going to take off at this point, this level, and continue this long?
Uh, I humbly say yes. I set
Good for
out to
you.
do this, and I said I'm going to make this the best Neil Diamond tribute that I can. I've always had the passion of acting and performing, and I wanted to do something that only I could do because I couldn't rely on the business anymore, just sitting waiting for the next audition or waiting for the next show to book, So I just said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it right. And here we are. It just keeps growing. It just keeps growing.
Well, I wish you well, sir. I can't wait to check it
Thank you.
out with the orchestra. That's going to be amazing. Robert Neary, the star of So Good, the Neil Diamond Experience. Check it out on Amazon too, Amazon Prime, and then go see him in person live. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. You're amazing.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Good morning.
All right, you too. Thank you.